What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Bandai SH Monsterarts Godzilla Ultima from Godzilla Singular Point. And so here we have Godzilla Ultima pose and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. Godzilla Ultima does come with two different head sculpts. We do get his neutral head, which does have unarticulated jaw, which looks really nice. Then we do get a second head where the mouth is sculpted in a much wider configuration. He also does come with two versions of the Jet Jaguar, which are really small. I do like that. Other than that, Godzilla doesn't come with anything else. I would have liked an atomic breath, but his is so unique, I don't know how they would have done it in toy form, so yeah, that is unfortunate. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually have a closer look at Godzilla Ultima. And so here we have a closer look at Godzilla Ultima, and Bandai has done a really good job with this figure. I do like it. Now, I do have some issues with it, and we'll get into that in a little bit. My biggest issue is with the tail, and like I said, I'll talk about that in a little bit, but overall, they did a very good job sculpting this figure. It looks just like Godzilla did in Singular Point, which I really did like this design. It was so unique. I did like it. There's a lot to talk about here, so let's actually start at his head here. Now, like I said, he does have two heads. We do get the one with the wider mouth, and then this one has the articulated jaw, which, as you can see, he does open his mouth pretty wide. I do like that. And you can see inside we have different rows of teeth, which I think that looks really nice. Even at the top of his mouth, we can see so many teeth. That looks so unique and so disturbing. I like it. Then he does have these yellow piercing eyes, which look really nice, going onto his really thick neck, where you can see his dorsal plates do come out, which this doesn't really look like Godzilla. If I were to cover this up, this just looks like a kaiju because of the way his dorsals are sculpted in this form. But then as we go on to his back, you can see his dorsals more resemble what Godzilla's dorsal plates should look like, and I'll just zoom out a little bit just so you guys can see the dorsal plates, which look so much like Godzilla dorsal plates, so I do like that. These ones do have a red vein going through the big plates, so very interesting design. I do like that. Then we have a look at the underside of Godzilla, where you can see, if we line all his parts up, you can see it does come down in like this spike configuration, as well as here on the side of his head. I do like that. It's an interesting take on Godzilla, and I do like the color scheme on this figure. It really does harken back to the old Godzilla colors, but they did give him some additions, such as these little spikes on his arms, kind of resembles Batman arms. So yeah, really do like that. And just like with most Japanese Godzillas, he has really big legs. Kind of surprising they didn't go for a different redesign, seeing as how this was an anime and they could have done anything they wanted. It is really nice to see these, the way they just segmented his body here. It looks really cool. Then we go on to his legs, or his feet, where he has some really big feet. I do like how big his feet are. This gives him a really good base to stand on. You can see his dew claw coming out on the back of his, what would be his heel right there. So yeah, really good detail there. And I like the fact that his claws are done in this bone yellow color. They're not white, they're actually bone, which I do like that small little detail. So we go on to the tail, where this is the biggest point of contention I have with this figure. He has such a massive tail. It is very heavy, and the attachment point right here is very, very easy to pop off, because it just has this one little ball joint here. What they should have done is make that a much bigger ball joint. That way it had a more secure fit. But yeah, you will find yourself fighting with this figure a lot, because that ball joint likes to move around, and then the inside of his thighs right here, they do end up getting in the way of the tail. So you gotta really finick with it. Get it in there, and once it's secure, it does stay in, but you will find it popping out just because of the sheer weight of his tail. This is an enormous tail, but I do like the segmented look. Just look at how much detail they packed into it. Even the dorsal plates still carry over those red veins. And something I do like is that all the ball joints here are very solid. Now you can see it does take a little effort for me to move these ball joints around, which I prefer that over loose ball joints. Yeah, he just has an outrageously long tail. It gets insane. This tail is like twice the size of Godzilla's body, and even standing him up straight, you can't even see him. So yeah, if I were to extend him all the way, I believe, you guys can't see it, but yeah, he is about 24 inches from head to tail, which is insane because my studio is 24 inches, and trying to get him all in one image is really difficult. But yeah, really long tail, and the detailing on his tail is very good. I like the dorsal plates, how they go from the Godzilla dorsal plates to the new singular point dorsal plates all the way to the tip of the tail, which looks really nice. I'm really glad that they did keep that little detail. But yeah, the detailing on him is superb. The tail is very nice. And like I said, the tail doesn't fall out unless you like really mess with it. But it does hold itself up in all these joints, which I do like, that these joints are strong enough to support the weight of the tail without making it too hard to pose. So really good job there by Bandai. I just wish that the base of his tail connected with a bigger ball joint. That way you don't have that much issues with it falling out. But like I said, it doesn't fall out unless you like mess around with it too much. So overall, still a very impressive figure. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get Godzilla Ultima compared to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we do have Godzilla Ultima posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Godzilla Ultima posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Godzilla Ultima posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. Here we have Godzilla Ultima posed next to a NECA Godzilla King of the Monsters Godzilla. And finally, here we do have Godzilla Ultima posed next to an SH Monsterarts Godzilla vs. Kong Godzilla. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually have a look at Godzilla's articulation. Now, just for the sake of the video, we are going to pop his tail off. We'll go over his tail in a little bit, but we're going to have a look at his articulation from head to legs before we have a look at his tail. So starting at the head, we do have a ball joint here at the head, which does let him look up and down, and then this jaw is articulated, so you can have him open it and close it, so I do like that. Really does look good when he has it semi-open like that. I think looking at him closed, it's kind of weird, so semi-open is probably the best look for this particular head. And because it is on a ball joint, we do have some side to side, up and down movement, as well as rotation, so that is pretty good there. We have a second ball joint here in the neck, so that does move down, up, some side to side. And then we go on to his chest piece right here, which it's a floating piece. You guys can see it doesn't do anything but float, and it moves around as you need it to. His shoulders, I believe they are on ball joints. I can't tell, but this does feel like a ball jointed shoulder because it does pivot all the way around, comes forward to about right there. A little bit of an issue I have with it, at least from a design standpoint, is when you move his shoulder, you can see that this part of his shoulder doesn't go with the rest of the arm, so it kind of has to stay like this, otherwise you completely break the sculpt, so that is unfortunate. Going out, they go out to about right there, and then they do go inward. What's going on right here? I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So yeah, it's probably a ball joint here in the shoulder, so that does pivot forward and back, in and out. Then we do have a second ball joint here in the arm, which only does in and out movement, as well as some swivel, so you can get some movement out of there, and you can move it out to the side. So really good movement there. Then we do have a double hinge here at the elbow, which unfortunately only gives us about 90 degrees with Godzilla. We do have rotation here at the forearm, a hinge here at the wrist, and that does rotate, and it does rotate on that pin. Then we do have, I'm gonna say, a mid-torso joint right here on Godzilla, and that's where the moving chest piece comes into play, so you can actually have them hinge forward better than you would normally. You can have them hinge back and then just close that up. So I do like this feature that this is a floating moving hinge. That way you can actually close up the gaps as you need it. So really good engineering there, and it does pivot back just so you get a more flush look for Godzilla. Then we do have another ball joint here in, I'm going to say his waist. We're going to call this his waist right there, which that does go forward and back and has some side to side movement, but you don't get too much rotation because of how oblong his body is. Then we do have ball joints that go out at his legs, so they go out really far. Godzilla can actually do like a sumo stance, so that's really impressive. They do kick forward to about right there, going back to about right there, so I do like that. And then we do have some thigh swivel inside, and then this is a floating piece, so that moves to cover up gaps. Then we do have a knee joint which does go back only to about right there, so that's neutral position, that's going back, so it is somewhat limited for a Godzilla figure. And it does appear we have another hinge here in his heel. This would technically be his heel, so that does pivot back and forward. It even might be a ball joint as well, because that actually pivots really nicely. We have another ball joint here at his feet, and that does allow for some pivoting as well, so I do like that. So moving on to the tail, as I stated, it is on ball joints. So we do have a ball joint that connects the tail to the base of Godzilla, and then we just have ball joint on top of ball joint on top of ball joint. So every segment here in his tail is a ball joint, and like I said, the ball joint is very, very good here. You can see no weak spots in the tail whatsoever. I can actually hold it like this and it doesn't lose its shape. That is really impressive. And like I said, it's just an absurd length of tail, but it actually works. I do like it. It's one of the better Monsterarts Godzilla tails that they've done. And like I said, we just got some really insane posing with it. Like here, I just made an S shape out of it. So overall, really do like the articulation on this Godzilla figure. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get Godzilla posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Godzilla Ultima posed for my final thoughts, and overall I think SH Figure Arts has done a really good job here with this Godzilla figure. Now I know a lot of people might not be a fan of this particular design of Godzilla. Me, I just found this a really nice design of the overall general design of Godzilla, so I just had to have them in my collection, and this, I'm not disappointed by having them in my collection. I will say that the tail is a little bit annoying to deal with because, like I said, it is very heavy, and that could have been alleviated if they had just gone with a bigger ball joint at the base of his tail, but that doesn't overall throw off my overall thoughts on the figure. I still think it looks really nice. I am glad that they did include a second head where his jaw is open all the way. That is perfect. I kind of wish that we got an atomic blast with this figure, but again, he had such a unique atomic blast, and it's very different from all the other Godzillas we've ever seen, so I can understand why they did include it. But overall, still a really solid figure, and I do like the way he came out. Now, if you are looking for a Godzilla Ultima, he is available on sites like Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, and Amazon, and that's pretty much where I picked mine up from, Amazon, which I'm honestly surprised Amazon didn't cancel my pre-order for this, because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, Amazon has been canceling a lot of my high-end collectible pre-orders, and that has been getting really annoying. Surprisingly, Godzilla Ultima shipped no problem, no cancellation, no nothing. He just showed up one day, and that was the end of story. So I'm at least happy that I do have him in hand. Godzilla Ultima will run you about $120, and that is no small amount of change. That's a huge chunk of money. If you're a fan of Godzilla or just this this overall design and you want to have them in your collection, definitely pick them up. I really do recommend, if you're a Godzilla fan, to at least give this figure a chance. If you don't like it, you can always return it or get something different, or use it as trade bait for somebody who really wants it. Like I said, he is going to run you about $120 if you get him from sites like Big Bad Toy Store or Amazon, which I think that's a fair price. There's a lot going on with this figure. $120 seems fair and reasonable for the amount of plastic we are getting with this figure. So if you're a fan of Godzilla, definitely give Godzilla Ultima a chance. With that being said, guys, I'm King of Dragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other SH figure arts and SH monster art reviews. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, go ahead and let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.